This history begins with super-developed soldiers in a post-apocalyptic world where they have as a mission to kill the enemy, but in reality all this is a video game. This guy here is a man named Ryota Sakamoto, says that in this game it is very difficult for him to lose in a tranquil building lives our protagonist. Ryota Sakamoto, this is so powerful that he is even one of the best in the world. Since it is in the best ranking of the game, Rota says that for him, to prove that he is the best, he will have to play more seriously against opponents outside of Japan or his rank will not increase, although at that moment a new challenger arrives. But the curious thing is that this challenger apparently is in rank 2, and I tell you that Beat 'em is the game that has been sold to more than 3 million copies around the world. And in this one, no more firearms are used, only bombs. Basically, it uses 8 types of bombs or beam depending on the situation, and they use the sound to find enemies while they remain out of sight. That's how you win the game. Ryota is sure that they will be the #1 in the world. I tell you that Ryota is 22 years old and still has no job. Basically, he sits all day doing nothing, but in the world of Batun he is the strongest of all. What an irony, he is the most respected than anyone. Even in this same game he is married obviously. Before this he is not very happy. The thing is that out of nowhere Ryota begins to open his eyes and observes a quite particular situation. Since he is on a tree and has a parachute, he tries to ask for help, but no one listens to him. When he finally falls off the parachute, he notices that he is in a jungle. He wonders what this place is. He has no idea where he is, nor does he know what he is doing here. And the crazy thing is that he can't remember anything. The only thing he remembers is that he was playing concrete in his room. And then his memories became difficult to remember. He even has blood on his hand, but he does not understand what is happening to him. When looking at his cell phone, there is a big problem, is that his cell phone has no signal. Also note that he has a kind of crystal in his hand. It is not explained how this crystal is embedded in his skin. Ryota says he can feel it, but that it does not cause him any pain. He wonders if he was kidnapped by a UFO. And when he takes a couple of steps back, he notices that his backpack is lying on the floor. He sees that in his backpack is his wallet. He wonders if he was going to go somewhere last night. Although the good thing is that in his backpack there is food and drinks. When he drinks the drink, he says that first he must know where he is. When he walks through the entire jungle, obviously he feels a lot of heat and says that it seems that he is quite far from the south. But something that is clear is that he cannot spend his drink, since he knows he will not have more. In that he observes a very large bug that hits his head, and wonders if this is really a tropical forest, because there are truly strange insects. Ryota runs, and wonders what he has done to deserve this. The thing is that by running and not looking where he is going, Ryota falls and begins to take many turns, to finally end up in the sand of a beach. Again he wonders where he is. We go back a little bit, when Ryota claims his mother for having filled job applications, since this reminds him that he does not want to work and tells him not to get involved in his affairs. When he leaves a store, some guys with very elegant suits ask him if he is Ryota Sakamoto. In reality, all this is memories of Ryota, who is slowly beginning to remember. Basically, he remembers that someone stopped him when he was leaving, but that yes, just remembering it makes him have a headache in the afternoon. Ryota thinks it was very clever to have bought a lunch, because if it weren't for that, right now he would be in trouble. But he wonders what he should really do tomorrow, and also that he does not recognize the bag he found inside his backpack, and he says it may not be his. When he touches the backpack, there is a kind of cube, and when he presses the button, this cube starts to count down. Ryota has a bad feeling that something is going to happen, and that's why he decides to throw this cube far away. When he does that, and the cube reaches its final count, the cube explodes. Ryota wonders what the hell was that, and he also wonders that all the cubes in the backpack are really bombs. Also, he wonders what those things do in his backpack. So for that, Ryota tries to escape because he does not want to have anything to do with that. Ryota in the distance notices that someone is approaching. This, seeing that immediately, wants to ask for help, but that this unknown person throws a bomb at him, and notices that it comes towards him with intentions of attacking him. It is now that Ryota reminds him that these bombs are the same as those in his video game, and says that he is supposed to be playing Batun right now. Ryota can't believe this, so he tries to run away, but that person throws another bomb at him. It's now that Ryota confirms that this guy is trying to eliminate him. The guy who screams at him that he is a coward, but Ryota can't take it anymore. He is very tired. He wonders if he really lost that crazy guy. Ryota says that the most important part of B2 is to hide from the enemy, which at that moment the guy is already here, since it makes him explode in his face. Ryota wonders how this guy could know his location. He wonders if he really will have to fight him, although he has something very clear, and that is that if one of these things hits him, he will surely die. The unknown person asks why he has not been fighting, and is asked if he is really going to keep running away. Although at that moment Ryota throws a bomb at him, but it does not explode because it basically fell into the water, although it is not really that, since Ryota just realizes that for the bombs to explode, first the switch must be sunk. The unknown person says that he was about to die, and that he has a good arm, so he must be careful. At that moment Ryota throws another bomb at him, but again it does not come out as he wanted. The unknown guy makes fun of him for not knowing how to use his own bombs. Although Ryota manages to catch that guy by the back and asks him why he is attacking him. He also asks him where they are and that if these bombs and the crystal they have in their hand have to do with the online game called Bitun. This causes laughter to this guy, who tells him that he is a complete idiot. Also he asks him if he can't remember anything, since this would be dangerous for him. So for that he does not think to say anything. And again the guy throws a bomb at him, although Ryota was able to dodge it. Ryota wonders why this is happening to him, what has he done to deserve this? And he wonders if this guy is just a normal Japanese guy, so that's why Ryota decides to give up, but this doesn't matter to this guy because he decides to throw another bomb, so our little Ryota asks if he's really going to die here. The guy shouts, "Where did he go?" And he tells him that he knows very well that he is not dead yet, thing that at that moment. Ryota begins to feel the crystal in his hand, and this makes him remember the game, which is the same as the Bitun radar. It is now that he understands that hiding will not help in anything. The very angry guy says that he failed again, but he is sure that hiding will not help at all. Ryota says that if he has a radar, hiding does not make sense, but he wonders why his bombs do not come out as he wants. Now Ryota looks at the bombs and understands that in each bomb there is a counter. Obviously he is very angry because he did not realize before this, and in concrete the bombs are called crackers. These explode when they hit, basically a time mine. If you press the switch it explodes when the counter reaches 0, and Ryota wonders if he was in Bitun. In this situation Ryota wants to calm down. Since he is in the team with rank 10 in the world is only a virtual glory at that moment, the guy who is shouting cowardly, and the guy who shouts that he knows very well that he is hidden, but in reality Ryota was not there, and it is when he understands that he does not even know where he is, so this is your chance. But as Ryota has no other option, he decides to jump into the sea, and the guy who tells him that he can't stay underwater forever, and that when he comes out to the surface, he will send him with God. But in reality, all this was a Ryota's trap, because he left a bomb where he was. That makes where the guy was explode, and effectively Ryota could win that way. He thinks he had no choice, since that guy would have eliminated him. Basically, all this was self-defense, and he says that he did nothing wrong, that it's not his fault, also that at that moment Ryota watches the bombs of that guy, and now he understands that he has to take them to survive, since this is an elimination game like in line, and the worst thing is that he has to play it in real life, and since we are, you tell me, what would you do in this situation? Leave me your answer in the comments. We return to where again, Ryota's team always won everything, and this is recognized by this girl named Himiko. Sakamoto's team was always congratulated by everyone. Himiko says that he is very popular and believes that this is not in vain, since he is in the top ranking of Japan, that is, it is a lot. He says that he has even appeared in magazine publications, that at that moment Ryota approaches him and begins to talk to Himiko. In addition, he tells him to join his team, since one of them disconnected, because Obton is much more fun when you play as a team. And that's how Himiko met Ryota. It was fate basically. The next day Himiko asks her friend why she didn't come yesterday. She apologizes, and it's because one of her brother's friends went to his house and started playing the games. Himiko says that she could have sent him a text message to warn him, but she tells him that they made him play with them. Himiko replies that he will have to pay for the fries today. Also the friend tells Himiko that she always attracts the attention of all men, but in reality this Himiko is not interested at all. The friend believes that if she is not interested in her, then yes, because she would like to have her hair, her color, her eyes and well, her chest. In reality Himiko tells her that yesterday she played Bitun with Ryota, and she tells him that he is the best player in Japan, and that only with 3 games in his team he was able to rise to the ranking 20,000. The friend who asks Himiko how is that boy of Sakamoto. Himiko says that he has not met him in real life, but he looked like a nice older brother. Although Himiko says it is better not to expect too much from someone at that moment. They take a picture with a cosplay. Also that the friend tells Himiko to take a picture with Sakamoto next to him and send it to him, and Himiko prefers not to do it, but that the friend tells him that surely he would be surprised since Himiko is a high school girl. With a big heart, what a personality. Himiko is considered a high school girl of the most normal, nothing special, and they say that she looks like a foreigner. She would like to go to school and spend time with her friends and play online games just like a normal high school girl, but until that happened, Himiko says that this is really her punishment. She does not understand why she is in this place and why this happens to her. Also when she looks at her backpack she asks if all this is Bombs. She wonders if with this she must eliminate the people. She walks and walks, but she does not find anything. She does not find anyone. She wonders if it would be a good decision to go to the forest. But it is something that she does not really want, but it's something he doesn't want to do. Because it's cold there and there are probably dangerous insects and snakes and all those things. And here I ask you, my dear viewer, what would you do in this situation? Leave me your answer in the comments. Himiko is very hot and is also asked, where is this island? It's so hot that Himiko would love to have a little sun protection at this time, but the most important thing is if he can really come back. Let's go back a little bit where Himiko and her friends are reading a letter that is going everywhere, where there is a news that says that people have been disappearing from nowhere. What a fear. It means that every person who writes the name that bothers him in that letter, they will make him disappear, and that in return he will be rewarded with 100,000 yen. I mean basically a lot of money. Himiko at that moment wakes up and sees that there are some guys who are watching him, in addition to asking him if he is okay, although the guy tells him not to worry, since he will not hurt him. He tells him that there is no reason to fear him since he is not the enemy. But the guy tells him that if he stays asleep like that, he will not know when they will attack him. Also that he asks him if he would like to go with them. One of the guys from that group considers that this island is too big and that they have to wait for a ship to pass to see if they can be rescued. Another of them says that they can't do much, so they have to play this game as they were told. But at that moment the other guy says that they must work together at a time like this. In addition to telling him that he should not say strange things like that. But I mean, make this guy tell him that he is a master? And he will always do what is right. The situation does not matter. But the other guy answers that he will see that later. Since people like him are weaker. Although the master says he knows judo and could solve any problem. And the other guy answers that judo does not work in this situation. This makes the other guy get up and wants to form a fight. That is why he catches Himiko. To see what the master is capable of. But don't worry, since Himiko was able to solve everything herself, since at that moment she took out a taser and was able to free herself. The guy who tells Himiko that everything was a joke and that if he really wanted to eliminate him, he would have done it a long time ago. Although this other one who says that it is enough and wonders if they should not work together, also says that they should not go crazy just because they have those weapons. So he suggests that they put their weapons in one place so that there are no problems. And for that a leader will be chosen to take care of the bombs. This other says that how will they know that the leader will not have a strange idea? Since today you cannot trust anyone. But the teacher says that then who would be the leader? And this says that the best option is the girl. And indeed, everyone decides to drop their weapons so that the leader takes care of them. He wonders why she is the leader, because she is weak or because she is a woman, which at that moment they observe a plane as it releases something in the forest. So that's why they decide to go and check what that plane released. When they are in that place, they observe that what the plane released are provisions. So they quickly take advantage of eating, and Himiko takes the opportunity to throw her solar block. At that moment, the teacher arrives and asks, "What are you doing?" He notices that they are eating and says that this is wrong, since they should divide the provisions because everything will end much faster if not. He says that they are only eating without thinking. That should be embarrassing. But this guy gets fed up and tells him to shut up, and that also ends his life. We go back a little further back, where Himiko was with his friends, and they were about to meet some guys who are also very recognized in the game of Toon. We return to when this guy asks Himiko to wake up and not make noise, since the other guy is asleep, and this is the only chance to escape. Obviously this is due to what this guy did to the teacher. The guy believes that if they stay with him, they will be the next ones to do that, so they decide to escape. But as the fat guy does not have a good physical condition, he gets tired very quickly. They start drinking some water, and Himiko tells him that he is very kind, which at that moment the guy feels the presence of the other guy who is following them. That's why they decide to run, but Himiko asks him how he knows that. He tells him that he knows because he saw it on the radar, and to be able to activate the radar, all he has to do is stretch his arm, and indeed he comes after them. When they run and run, they reach a bridge. Obviously this bridge was a bit dangerous. Himiko tells the guy to hurry, but this one who tells him that it weighs too much, and I'm afraid the bridge will fall. The problem is that the other guy is already here, the other one who tells him that how he knew he was being followed. But he answers that all this is thanks to the radar, although the other guy does not know what the radar is. The chubby does not explain how that guy followed him without even looking at a radar. This one that tells him that if they do not return everything then he will take it by force. The chubby at that moment throws a bomb at him and wants to escape by the bridge. Himiko observes this bomb and says that it is not the same as his, and it is now that he understands that everyone has different bombs. The chubby's bomb is practically like a poisonous egg, and it's even poisoning the herbs. The fat guy can't believe how that guy could track him without even looking at the tracker. Himiko thinks why he doesn't let go of his hand. The fat guy tells him that now he has to look for a hiding place and prepare for the next fight, because if they don't prepare, they're probably going to die. It is now that Himiko understands that they have to eliminate the people. The fat guy tells him that this is to eliminate or be eliminated. I think Himiko does not want to eliminate anyone. Himiko wants him to let her go. But this guy does not let her go, makes him remember Vietnam. And that's why Himiko gives him a hard blow. And for that reason the chubby becomes half crazy and does not want to let Himiko go. He tells him that if he wants to escape because he is a stinky fat man or because he is sweaty. The chubby tells him that he will protect her. So when he tries to catch her, Himiko uses his taser. We go back a little bit, when Himiko went to visit a friend. When she enters, she observes that in this house there are many men. But the most disturbing thing is that her friends are lying on the floor. And she clearly knows what the guys did. Himiko obviously wanted to go. And the guy tells her to calm down. He tells her that he will give her a good time. It is for that reason that Himiko gives him a hard blow and runs away from that place. Although the worst thing is that even his best friend is also in trouble. But Himiko does not want to leave and tries to force her to do nothing. Himiko wants to call the police, but finally she can escape. This case received a lot of publicity and Yoshioka and her gang were arrested. Himiko's friends all left and then her best friend hated her to the point that she told her to disappear. Himiko asks again if this is really her punishment, although at that moment the chubby finds her. He manages to catch her and tells her that she can't escape from him because he will always know where she is thanks to his radar. And that's how I found her. The chubby wants to do very bad things to her. She doesn't know what to do and needs some help. All this makes him remember what his friends had to live. Although at that moment Himiko pulls a bomb out of his pocket, and with this he manages to get this guy to run away. So as he sees that he is running away, Himiko decides to throw the bomb at him. It is now when Himiko recognizes that she eliminated someone, but she does not feel guilty. Instead she feels very proud to protect herself. The next day she swore that she would not doubt again, because she considers that all men are scum, all men of this island are her enemies. And just at that moment, she meets Ryota. Ryota, when she sees that girl, notices that she has a lot of food. Although she remembers that she does not want to know anything about men, so that's why she runs away. Ryota, seeing that she is running away, tells her to stop. She wonders where she went. Ryota decides to activate her radar, and although the signal is weak, she can know more or less where she is. What happens is that she is apparently not moving, which at that moment she observes that a bush is moving, and she thinks it is her when it is not. Because it is this man named Kiyoshi Tera, the man who tells her to wait and not to do anything. He is not a man of fights, he asks her to let him go, but she tells him not to worry and to get up so that he can put on his pants. The man says he was dragged here and forced to play this strange game where it is a disaster. Toyota tells him what he means when he talks about a game. The man tells him to tell him, just do nothing. Toyota wonders how many people are on this island. Later Mr. Tera tells him that apparently he does not remember what happened on the plane. He says that was a complete madness. He says that some strange guys in black came to see him, and the next thing he knew was that he was already on a plane, and this was not a passenger plane. It was like the deck of a cargo plane, where there were many people, men and women of all ages. There were some people who carried weapons, and in that a guy appeared on the TV and tells them that everyone is about to enjoy an exciting game. That makes Ryota wonder how that bastard could take this as a joke. And Riot asks how that bastard could take this as a joke. Mr. Tyra says he doesn't know. He just talked that way all the time. Also that guy says that this cargo plane is heading to an island in the Pacific. Basically it's a tropical desert island, but where there is no food or water, so it's not exactly a paradise, and to escape on this island, you must win the game. And finally he says that if you want to complain or do something about it, that would be useless, since this is not allowed. Obviously these words leave all people very disconcerted. In addition to the guy says that they will have to fight with these bombs called BIM. And if everyone wonders who they are going to fight, he practically tells them that they will fight with the people they have next to them. Which means, it will be a battle where everyone will fight against everyone. All people are distressed by what is happening, obviously, to the point that one wanted to resist, and it was good basically sent to the lobby. That guy keeps explaining and says that each one will receive different lives than everyone else and they will have to find out what type they are. They will have 8 years, and that does not include manual. He also tells them that the only way to win the game is by taking a look at their hand, where it says that they have incorporated a crystal which is basically like an integrated circuit that will allow them to meet more easily, and this can only be removed with surgery, but if your heart stops, these things will come out. It also says that the main event will be held on an island, and if you want to escape from that island, You have to get 8 of those chips. That's the only way to get out of the island. In other words, the one who gathers 7 chips apart from his own is the one who will win. The funny thing is that at that moment, Ryota comes out and says that because he doesn't tell the others that this is a game in reality. Ryota doesn't remember saying that, because the man says that it was probably because, as Ryota was causing chaos, and basically knew what the game was about, the masked bandits had to hold him. Basically, to then, with a paralyzing gun, hit him in the head. Mr. Terra says that after they put some parachutes on everyone, where they made everyone jump. The crazy thing is that this guy on the screen knew that Ryota was the top 10 in the ranking of Japan. And basically that's all Mr. Terra knows. And it is at this moment that Ryota understands why he has bled on his head. Also for not remembering anything. That explains how he's here. He wonders why. It's the same rules as in B2M. Since the only weapons are the bombs. The strategy implies using the radar. And the only way to win is to gather 8 chips. This is not a coincidence for Ryota. And also that he knows one of the people behind this game. So you understand. Tyrants, Japan. The creators of B2M are responsible for this. Ryota can't believe that a company like that can do such a thing. Mr. Terra asks Ryota if he's okay, because he looks very pale. Ryota thinks that if Tyrannos Capan is behind all this elimination game system, besides being one of the best game creators in the world, his system has no contradictions or exits. And among other words, Ryota thinks that if he wants to escape from here, he has to eliminate 7 people and steal their chip, and is asked if he has to feel that horrible feeling 6 times more. He can't believe he has to eliminate people as if it were a game. Mr. Tyra asks him what's wrong, and here he is acting very strange, and also tells him that he manages to understand him, since he lost his memory. Also that he tells him that if he wants to collaborate with him, since that would be much safer than being alone in a very dangerous place like this. Retta asks if it is a good idea to collaborate with him, and if he's right that collaborating with someone can be much safer, but he will have to face when he has the 14 chips. Ryota asks him what his opinion is if they collaborate together in this game. The man tells him that he has never played a game where someone must be eliminated. This one says that they should look for another way to get out of the island. Ryota thinks that this man is very naive, although in a way he understands it, and a good one. Ryota finally accepts and tells him that he likes his commitment to say that he does not want to play this game although he has a condition, and tells the old man to show him his bin because that way he will know what kind they are and how many he has and he will feel much safer. Obviously the old man who tells him that he prefers not to do this since if he shows it to him he will not be able to trust him because Mr. Terra realized that. Ryota has 2 bags also that he tells him that he can. Not because these are his triumph cards, his nuclear weapons, and they should respect each other more if they don't know what the other has. Ryota thinks he's too smart, and that reminds him when he said that to survive this game, he can't be good at Beto. The talent in dealing with others will also be tested. Ryota thinks that probably the old man is better than him, so he tells him to collaborate with him, this time without any condition, and that Mr. Terra is happy and thanks him because he felt very lonely. Mr. Tyra tells him that he works in the real estate sector in Osaka and is very happy to meet him. Ryota wonders where that sound comes from. Mr. Tyra says that he has also heard it, but does not know where it comes from. When they went up the highest mountain, Ryota observes that it is a plane, where this said plane drops a couple of falls. This reminds her of what she saw with that girl, and she thinks that they are probably supplies. So that's why Ryota tells Mr. Terra that that's food. Mr. Terra thinks they are already saved, so that's why Ryota decides to go to the nearest. But, Ryota notices that another person approached those supplies. The thing is that this woman fell into a trap, and basically was exploited. Everything was caused by this guy. Ryota observed all this. It is now that Ryota understands that these provisions can be seen all over the world. What does it mean that they will compete to see who stays with her first? Ryota cannot understand how is that all those who are here can eliminate without think twice. People are playing beat 'em really. It is a game in real life. Very dangerous. Mr. Tyrell will climb the mountain. He observes that there are no provisions or anything, since everything was a trap by another type. Although Ryota tells him that there is another parachute not far away, but the problem is that if they are going to pick them up, they could be eliminated too. And he wonders if it is worth risking their lives to get some food. But Mr. Terra tells him that in the end if they don't eat, they will die anyway, so they should go for those provisions. That is why Ryota and Mr. Terra decide to go for the supplies. But let's go a little back. since in the city of Japan, a very terrifying crime just happened. I present you Akira. No, it's not Akira. He is 14 years old. He ran away from home because his father mistreated him. He started stealing wallets, and ended up eliminating and committing other much more serious crimes. The police officers say that he looks like a very nice boy, but in reality he is a psychopath, and they do not wonder how all those criminal acts were caused by a 14-year-old boy. And the most disturbing of all is that out of nowhere Kira begins to smile. We return again with Kira, but already on the island, where he is doing quite disturbing acts with the frogs. But then Kira asks the man why it is wrong to eliminate a living creature. He asks him if he does not pity him, since no matter how small it is, in the end they are living beings. Kira replies that he does not even pity him a little, since humans eliminate pigs and cows to eat, but the man tells him that it is very different to eliminate something to eat than to have fun. Although Kira is very clear about this, he wants to know why it is wrong if he has not bothered anyone. Kira, very angry, tells him that why adults get bored with their explanation and give up halfway. In that, Kira and Mr. Rexer go as a parachute falls with provisions. Kira wanted to see what it was, but the man tells him not to go, that it can be very dangerous. Moments later they are already in the place where the parachute fell, and this man here, whose name is Yashihira, tells Kira to give him one of his bombs because he considers that his are better for this job. But this man wanted to explode the bomb, but he could not, only explode when activated by the owner of each bomb, to the point that the bomb could knock down the tree, and thus see that in that briefcase came many provisions. But to this man that we will tell him to go adult, says that he wants to eat him to follow him. Obviously this did not like the other man at all, and says that those provisions are for everyone, so he should divide them. For those who do not understand that man is Kira's father, in addition to telling the man that there is no police or civilization here, so he does not care if he is a lawyer, here he only considers him a useless mouth to feed. And although this does not seem like anything to Kira, her father punishes him in the worst way, and all this reminds Kira of when her father hit her in her room. And that's why Kira puts a grenade to her father in his chest, and this causes her father to disappear. Kira is very happy for what she just did, and says that it is her first time to defend herself against her father's attacks. Obviously the lawyer is very scared, so he just witnessed, but the lawyer tells him that he should never accept to be his lawyer, since he considers him a human scum, so the lawyer runs away. And the worst thing is that in that moment Kira meets Ryota and Mr. Tara. Ryota asks him if he killed that guy. Kira replies that he deserved to die and that there is no police or civilization here, that the rule is another and this is the law of the jungle. Ryota, seeing that this boy is a complete danger, decides to escape, and Kira says that running will not help them, because this world is like concrete and he is good at that game, so he will not let them escape. Ryota knows very well that they are being followed, but what Ryota least wanted to do is to end with another person. Although at that moment Mr. Tara falls, but as he is an adult man, he gave him a cramp and cannot continue. For that reason he tells Ryota to continue alone. Although Ryota is a good person and will not leave the man alone, so he tells him to hide here, that he has a plan. Ryota says he can do it. He has to finish it and so take his wins, since he is one of the best concrete players in the world. And so quickly Ryota activates his radar and knows that the enemy is coming, but Kira knows very well that they have just used the other radar, so he will not let that happen. Kira says he will not lose against an adult, and will show who is the strongest and who has to listen to who. Kira says that this boy is trying to carefully measure the distance between them, which is getting closer and closer, and also that he remembers that this boy has two types of wings. When Ryo activates the radar, he realizes that he is closer, and the closer he gets, they run into each other. Kira says that now he knows that this boy is a concrete player, and is in the range of 3 stars, although Kira says that he is a 4-star player. Kira also says that that guy is a B2 player because the common tactics will not work between them. This seems very funny to Kira. On the other hand, Mr. Tara removes the crystal from this body. Also he begs Ryota not to be harmed. We see Kira very happy. He says that if he does not plan to counterattack, Ryota says he needs to set traps. On the other hand, Kira thinks this is getting boring because he is only running, although at that time everything was a trap by Ryota. Kira activates his radar and throws a bomb at Ryota, to the point that he had to throw his backpack because it was almost exploded, and Kira asks him if he is a concrete player. Also he knows that he never goes out on the street, because he would never hurt another person. Things that at that moment Kira throws a bomb at Ryota, and this bomb made Ryota hit his head. Ryota doesn't know what's going on and wonders if it's a dream, since he was playing in his room a while ago, and now he's here. So Ryota wants to think he's in a dream, and not in real life. This is as if he were looking at himself from behind, a feeling that only belongs to him. When Kira throws the bomb at him, Ryota dodges it by putting the bag as a shield, and this impresses Kira too much, who sees this as a very fun game. The crazy thing is that Kira begins to activate the radar, but does not show any traces of Ryota, because he says that this guy has the habit of shooting the radar every time he uses a beam, and if he uses his beam at the same time. Ryota can cancel this, and that's the way Kira won't be able to see Ryota. Kira doesn't understand how he can be canceling it all this time, because he doesn't think that no one is that professional to do that, and out of nowhere, Ryota goes out and explodes a bomb. Ryota is very confident that he won, and that's because he considers himself one of the best players of this game, but at that moment he observes that this is not a game and he was about to eliminate someone. Again we pass with Ryota and Mr. Terra, who are eating, and they look very happy, because they were very hungry, and when Ryota finishes eating, he remembers the fight he had with Kira that also at that moment. Mr. Terra thanks him for the food, and he tells him that it was not only for the food, but because when his leg was injured, he helped him and did not leave him abandoned. Ryota cannot believe that he is crying because no one has ever thanked him before, and Ryota believes that he surely did the right thing. But he wonders again that then why did they bring him to this island? We go back a little to the past, where at that moment the father of Ryota arrives at the house. But, the father watches his wife lying on the floor. She tells him that she knows very well that he was fired, and he surely didn't want them to worry. Obviously he knew that he was suffering in silence, and in return, what Ryota did was treat him very badly, and at that moment, the body of the chubby fell from the waterfall that previously wanted to do to Kimiko shady things, so that's why Ryota thinks that surely the enemy is close and they should leave here, but Mr. Terra tells him that he is very bad of the leg and cannot move so fast. But in that Ryota tells him not to say that again because he does not plan to leave him, although that's why Ryota decides to take a look. When Ryota goes up the mountain he thinks that surely someone must be waiting ahead. On the other hand, Mr. Tyra already has 2 chips for him. The worst is that when Ryota was investigating, she finds another body on the way, and Ryota tells her that only 2 days have passed since she arrived on this island. And she can't believe how much could change in 2 days. And the joke of this corpse has disappeared. Also, whoever eliminated him must be playing this game. For that reason, Ryota activates the radar and observes that there is someone in the mountain. And that someone is Himiko. Ryota wonders if this girl eliminated that man. On the other hand, Himiko throws a bomb that almost ends with Ryota. But the worst thing is that he was face to face with Himiko. Ryota tells him that he does not want to fight, that he does not want to play this game, he just wants to leave the island alive. He tells her to just leave her wings and listen to him. Ryota, seeing that she does not listen to him, tells him that it was the Japanese, are the guys who made the game, are the bad guys here. It seems completely stupid to eliminate each other. Himiko believes him. But when Ryota decided to get close to her, she's obviously upset about what they wanted to do to her, so she thinks she'll do the same. She throws the bomb and says that all men are her enemies, but luckily this bomb didn't kill Ryota. When Ryota wanted to get close, Himiko pulls out his taisei and tries to knock Ryota down. Ryota, seeing Himiko's appearance, thinks she's a foreigner, and asks her if she understands her language. She says yes, but what happens is that she doesn't believe in men. And when Himiko wanted to attack him with the taser, Ryota defended herself and made her attack him with the taser. What an irony. This makes Himiko fall. Ryota, seeing that she is knocked out, tries to get her up. And since Ryota doesn't want to go through what happened to her again, he prefers to take his weapons away. But Himiko has very murky memories with the fat guy, and when she gets up, Ryota tells her not to worry because he's not going to hurt her, and she thinks of taking her to a safe place, but as Himiko is traumatized by the men, she pulls a bomb out of her pocket and tries to explode everything. Although the bomb was stopped by Ryota, Ryota can't believe that she was really going to get eliminated hours later. Himiko was already with Mr. Terra, and he was about to eat Mr. Terra, who tells him that he probably had to go through a lot, but that he should not worry because they are with her. But Himiko says that it makes no sense to win, since they do not know if those people are really going to leave them free. Because those guys knew each of them very well, and they were chosen to be sent here. They were chosen as someone to whom they wanted to disappear. But Ryota says that if he is referring that all his friends and family have abandoned him, Mr. Terra cannot even believe this, since he has a great relationship with his family. That's why Himiko asks if he has done something to someone recently, and that has caused him to hate him. That makes Mr. Terra say that he had a big altercation with a client last month. They never told them anything about it. And basically Himiko knows it because her best friend told her to write her name so that one day she disappears. And Ryota wonders if that's the real reason why everyone is on this island. It is now when Ryota thinks that surely he was chosen by his mother. That Mr. Terra says that he can't give up because even if it is so you have to go home safe and sound. Thing that at that moment Ryota observes that there is someone near, and when he activates the radar there is no one but something is approaching. They can't see anything, but they wonder if it's an animal, and what comes out of the jungle are huge lizards that want to kill everyone. Mr. Terra can't believe some Komodo dragons have arrived. Ryota tells Mr. Terra to take Himiko to another place since he will go for the wings. Ryota takes a rock and throws it at a Komodo dragon to quickly take one of the grenades and throw them where the other Komodo dragons are. But this grenade does not explode. Ryota cannot understand why the switch does not work, since these grenades I take them willingly, and he thinks that it does not work because surely they do not count as his, because he did not eliminate him. Mr. Terra and Himiko are in serious trouble, so Ryota is in search of finding his grenades inside many bags. One of the Komodo dragons bites Mr. Terra, but Ryota quickly throws one of the bombs, although Mr. Terra was injured. After walking and walking, Mr. Terra hurts his leg a lot, and before this Ryota complains a lot. Mr. Terra says that don't worry, he will be fine. He considers that he is much worse carrying her. That yes, Ryota perceives that someone is following them, and Mr. Terra says that he is a true hero because there are not many people like him nowadays, and even if Ryota says it's not true, for Mr. Terra yes, because at that moment he could have escaped, and he didn't. Ryota asks him why he always says things like that, and he says that if he is putting him to the test. Mr. Terra tells him that he is simply afraid when he asks him to wait for him. He thinks that he will not return. That really scares him. And that Mr. Terra also says that when Himiko said that someone wanted to end them, he thought that maybe it could be true, because he considers that this is karma, but Ryota tells him that he would never betray him, and that at that moment they hear another noise, and out of nowhere another Komodo dragon comes out, which almost ends with Ryota. The point now is that Ryota completely lost Mr. Terra, and out of nowhere Kimiko activated his radar, but not even with the radar he was able to detect Mr. Terra. He says that because in a situation like this he doesn't move. Although at that moment Ryota thinks that Mr. Terra has the food and the other binks, and he thinks that he left it with her so he can escape with all that. Ryota can't believe that he has been betrayed. And out of nowhere the other Komodo dragon comes out. However, a bomb explodes to the Komodo dragon and it was Mr. Terra's bomb. It's now that Ryota thinks that apparently he didn't abandon him. And he tells Mr. Terra that actually he had doubted him. And this one that tells him not to worry, that when one is scared, he always thinks the worst. While they walked and walked, Ryota tells him that until when he was going to keep secret what was the ability of his beings. But Mr. Terra replies that for that moment he still did not trust him much, and did not want to be enemies or let anyone approach him. Basically this is because of what he has lived, and that after walking he feels the breeze of the sea and is surely very close to her. The thing is that when they tried to climb a 2-story floor, the ladder broke for a lot of weight. The worst thing is that the dragons of Komodo have followed them here, but Mr. Terra wants to take care of them. Ryota tries to get Himiko up, but she does not respond and was thinking of sacrificing her, but she could not live peacefully after doing that. So at that moment Ryota goes up the stairs and Mr. Terra notices that he wants to sacrifice her. It's when he tells her that he has lost all faith in him. But basically Ryota went up to throw a smoke bomb and be able to get away from the Komodo dragons. Mr. Terra can't understand this because only the owners of those beings can suppress their bombs. And Ryota tells him that he used another way to do it. Basically with his finger he pressed the switch, but Mr. Terra says that the toxic smoke spreads. Although Ryota tells him not to worry, because it is in the correct direction of the sea, and the smoke will not come here. This seems incredible to Mr. Terra. Ryota says that this game is different from Baton, because in Baton there is no wind, and you cannot take and use the bings of another person. This is the real Baton. In the real world, Ryota finds a place where it seems that a bing killed someone here. Ryota says that this is recent. On the other hand, Mr. Terra looks a little tired, but says that the best place to be is this, since it looks very safe. Although at that moment Mr. Terra feels dizzy, and instantly collapses. Obviously, this is due to the bite on his foot. The next day Himiko asks if the lizards have already left. Ryota says that 5 of them died and that surely the others returned to the forest. Ryota also asks Ryota if he did not do anything wrong while he was sleeping. Ryota says no, but Himiko says that he can see it in his face that yes. Ryota tells him not to draw conclusions, but when he touches her, that makes him remember all the memories of Himiko. In the afternoon, Mr. Terra has a lot of pain in his leg, and when they decide to give him alcohol, he obviously feels the pain much more. When Ryota asks Himiko for help, she can't because she says she can't touch any man. Ryota tells her that it's not the time, and that he's like that because he defended her when she was unconscious. So that's why they try to call Mr. Terra this time. The next morning, Ryota asks what will happen to them. But. We go to the people who are behind all this, where they are watching Ryota and Himiko. We return with Himiko, who is watching the photo of her with her friend. But at that moment Ryota asks her what her name is, and that if what she saw on her cell phone was a kind of cosplay. But for that Himiko hit her and said perverted. Ryota does not understand why she does that, but she tells him that she does not trust men, although Ryota tells him that she wants to ask him something, and it is that if all those beings and food that he had, how did he get them really? He asks me how many has been eliminated, and at that moment Mr. Tyra asks if she is a murderer. Clota says they want to know this to know if later she could betray them. Himiko who says that why should I tell him, since he had to do that to protect himself or they would have done the worst. Now Ryota understands that he did it in self-defense, which at that moment Ryota feels the waves of a radar, but says that that person is still far away, but Himiko says that they found him, so he prefers to leave this place, and says that the eliminations will begin again, although Ryota tells him that he will take care of them. Ryota who says that he is moving away more and more and so he will not have to fight when he activates his radar. At that moment he was attacked by this guy, which we saw before. Ryota wonders why this guy attacked him with a knife instead of with some wings. Ryota tells him not to move, in addition to asking him why he is attacking him and tell him that they should not be fighting each other, that it is better to join. And also tells him why he does not use a knife instead of a beam, but that the guy says he hates selfish children like him, although at that moment Ryota is thrown a bomb from another side. But Himiko and Mr. Terra observe the explosion and wonder if it will be okay. The funny thing is that Ryota is trapped by the lawyer and the other guy, in addition to the lawyer telling him that there is no need to waste the beans on someone like him. And the lawyer tells the other guy that he lets him end the life of this brat with his knife. But what he did not imagine is that Ryota takes out a taser and with that he knocks him down. So he can escape from that place. But the other guy says that he let Ryota escape on purpose. And it's all because he had told him before, join us. It means that he is with more people a few minutes later. Ryota finally arrived with the others. He says he is fine. But he lost his wings and Himiko asks him if he made sure they didn't follow him. Ryota says he took care of that since he went to different directions before coming here. But Himiko says they can't be here since it's very dangerous. However, that guy was already in that place, and he says he was a former mercenary, that's why tracking in the jungle is easy for him. Obviously this guy remembers Himiko and also remembered by the taser that Ryota used. Also that he asks him if those are the wings and the food that he took from him, and also says that he ended the life of the chubby because he wants his chip, but that Himiko tells him that he did not take anything and that it was not his fault. And like this guy who wanted to go against Himiko, Ryota gets in and tells him to leave them alone. But the guy tells them that on this island is hell, you live or die, and it is impossible to escape on your own. The only way out is to eliminate and take your chip, and he says that this game is for true veterans. A game of this magnitude that is difficult to maintain the balance of the game. He says he worked as a tester for Tyrannos Japan, and he bets that they are responsible for this, and that the guy tells him that his plan is nothing more than a child's insensitive optimism, and at that moment the guy was going to attack, but Mr. Tyra got in and was hurt, which Ryota takes advantage of to attack with a taser, although this did not help at all. But luckily Ryota did not die, and when Ryota returned to the tower he saw that Mr. Terra was very hurt, and he looks for a way to stop the bleeding. But he observes that this guy took everything, and even took Himiko. Ryota believes that everything was his fault, and when he looks at his cell phone and sees his cosplay, he realizes that she is Himiko in the game. It is now that Ryota says that he has to go save her. Mr. Terra says not to go, that it is very dangerous, but Ryota tells him that he will get clean towels and water to heal him. Mr. Terra says that if he leaves him here, he does not think he is capable of maintaining the sanity, although Ryota wants to go rescue Himiko. On the other hand, we can observe that guy and the lawyer who are eating the food of the boys, but Himiko tells him to eliminate him right away, since she wants to die pure, although the guy tells her that he did not bring her here for that, because there are better ways of entertainment in a battlefield. One of them is to capture the enemy, which at that time these guys feel a radar. And yes, Ryota is in that place, but the guy tells the lawyer to watch the surroundings, since that guy is not so dangerous because they have all the bings. In that moment, the guy thinks that Ryota is already close and thinks that he probably already finished with the lawyer. That's why when he attacks, he almost eliminates his own friend. And when Ryota was about to enter a door, he almost got a bomb in his face. Luckily, he was able to stop it in time. The good thing about this is that when you deactivate an enemy's blink, you can use that one. Ryota tells Himiko that he has come to save her, but she asks him how he knows her name. And Ryota tells him that it was because he saw the back of her cell phone. Also, he asks her if she played Beat 'em. She answers that she does. And that's when Ryota tells him that her name in the game was Sakamoto. And Himiko says that she knows him because he was very famous among his friends, that he was one of the top rankings worldwide, but that she only knew him by his name, that they never had the opportunity to play together. I mean that with the Himiko that played, it was not her, and it is normal that several users have the same name. The guy who tells her that even if it is not her real name, she can still call him Himiko, and at that moment he was tracked by this guy who already knows that he saved the girl, and the guy who tells her that there are only two ways to get out of this room, and it is that the lawyer tells him to go down that path, that he will go for the other, and so they will not be able to escape. The thing is that the lawyer went crazy because when he found him, he started shooting bombs, but what the lawyer did not tell is that he fell into the trap of Ryota. The thing is that this guy caught Himiko again, and tells him to get out of where he is because it will be a fight without weapons, and what Ryota wanted to do was take the gun from that guy, but when he grabbed him, that guy, as he is a former mercenary, obviously has a much higher level of struggle than Ryota's. Ryota wonders if this is the end of his life, since he could never do things right, a wasted life in the games, and at least he would have liked to meet the real Himiko. The crazy thing is that at that moment Himiko puts a grenade on that guy, and with that they can escape, and as the toxic gas was about to reach them, Ryota takes out his parkour skills and leaves the place to later help Himiko. But, they didn't count that the guy wasn't finished yet, and as Ryota is much more intelligent than him, he has a contemporizing bomb. The guy thinks it's a new one, but in reality it was the lawyer's bomb, which this one explodes, and all this was observed by the guys behind all this. They thought it was incredible what Sakamoto just did, but the most incredible thing is that this is being observed by thousands of other people at school. Himiko looks very sad because all his friends treat him badly, and obviously this is what happened to his friends, and even when she played, she was very sad. Krita says that she was not going to participate in the game, but to save her life, she gave up very easily. We go with these people who apparently are allies, and that Evil tells her that she is going to protect her, but that at that moment she feels the presence of the enemy, when in reality they are the lizards. What she would not imagine is that the woman would betray him, and this is because basically she wants to get out of this island, yes or yes, and the only way to do it is with the chips. Obviously the tactic of this woman is to convince the men and then betray them. The people who are behind everything are very happy seeing this, so it is being achieved on the island. We return again with Ryota, who tells Himiko that they have already explored this place very well and will be fine, although he would like to return as soon as possible for Mr. Terra. But at this time of night, the jungle is too dangerous. But in that, while the two change clothes, Ryota found a place to sleep. Ryota tells him right away that then they can sleep together. Obviously Himiko did not mean that, besides that he calls him pervert. That then Himiko tells him that he simply should not cross the line and not even look at her when he sleeps. Ryota thinks that apparently she is starting to trust him, because if not, he would not have saved him when he was in danger with that guy. Surely he would be dead by now, and Himiko thanks him for rescuing him from those guys. But that's how Himiko asks him why he did that for someone he doesn't even know, who he hasn't even seen in real life. Ruta says that he still doesn't understand it yet, since Terra was injured and had been thrown by the cliff. Maybe he wasn't thinking clearly because when he's cornered in a corner, his internal limiter goes off, and at that moment he feels that another one of him begins to control him. But that was not really what he asked Himiko, since she says that why he saved her. Hirota says that it was because he thought that it was really Himiko from Bitten. He tells her that he left school for the game. He always played online games every day. He put his friends online ahead of everyone else in his life for him. On the internet was his true identity, and his friends on the internet were everything, but Himiko was worried about her anyway. That made her really happy. Ryota thinks that maybe she was just starving for human affection. And that's why when she thought Himiko was in danger, she didn't think twice. Although she was wrong, because she wasn't the real Himiko. But she's still glad she's fine. Ryota, when telling the story, notices that apparently Himiko had fallen asleep. But in reality she was crying of happiness, since when they caught her, she had given up, until Ryota came to save her as the hero of a movie, because she really is Himiko. The problem is that he does not want to open his heart to men again. However, Himiko begins to dream of Ryota when he was getting married in the video game, and at that moment a light illuminates his face, and there he sees someone who is watching her. He got up with great fear and thinks he is a ghost because he had the appearance of a very pale person. Ryota went to see if someone had actually entered here, but when he looks at his radar he does not see anyone. Ryota asks Himiko again if he really saw someone, and she says yes, since that person or whatever saw her directly in the eyes. Ryota tells him that maybe he was dreaming, but Himiko confirms that he actually saw him. Because that thing lit up his face, Ryota again looks with his radar but does not see anyone, and wonders if then he must be hidden. That is why Ryota and Himiko were looking for that person. Ryota tells him that since they cannot find him, it is better to separate for themselves, verify that he is really hiding. Obviously Himiko is very afraid and does not want to go alone. At that moment Ryota sees a light in the distance and decides to go. When he enters this room, he observes that someone was here. Ryota says that surely this is a trap thing, that at that time the guy appeared from behind and attacked Ryota, but when Ryota defends himself he observes that it is a woman, and also observes that she does not have a chip, and that's why he can't track her. Ryota wonders how long this woman has been here. Himiko was so scared that when Ryota returned to her she hit him hard. Besides that, Ryota says that he has to accompany her, and when they get to the place she observes that it is a woman. The crazy thing is that this woman has no chip and neither her left arm. The moment the woman gets up and watches Ryota, she becomes very hysterical and begins to say that she does not want men. That makes Ryota have to leave the room. Then the woman begins to talk to Himiko and tells her that she also thought that, and the woman asks him if he trusts him. Himiko tells him that for now yes, since he has saved her many times, and that he also knew him before. Although the woman tells him that he is very naive, since that does not mean anything here. Although the woman is going to tell him what is basically happening. She tells him that it has probably been 6 months since he arrived here. His name is Murasaki, he was a nurse. He worked in a hospital with little staff, and before she realized it, she was almost 40. One day, a serious medical accident happened. The doctor in charge of the operation was a man she respected, and because of what she respected, she did everything possible to protect him. She even altered many clinical stories, but that same man abandoned her in the hospital, and had to face a furious audience. Then she received a letter saying, if there is a person of whom she would like to get rid of, but in the end someone he had a grudge, he chose her. He began to participate in that same game with that doctor. But at that moment they eliminated the 6th player, who betrayed her, and without his chip nobody can locate her on their radar, so that's why she survived, which means that she was a participant in the previous game than this. All this story is told to Ryota, and that when they get all the ships, a helicopter comes to look for him, and Ryota believes that working together they can escape from this island. We return with Mr. Terra, where he is just waking up and observes this doctor. He tells him that he treated the wounds on his arm, but Mr. Terra thanks him for helping him. Although the doctor tells him that it is his duty as a doctor, but the doctor is not really a good person, because he only saved him to use him. At that moment, Ryota and Himiko arrive and ask him what he is doing here. The doctor is the victim and says that he is only a misunderstanding because he only passed by here and saw that he was injured, and that is why he cured him. He says he is a doctor and that saving a life is his job and that he has no intention of participating in this damn game. But Mr. Terra says yes, that he actually saved his life, and after Ryota sees all that, he apologizes to the doctor, but Ryota asks the doctor to show him his Vince because that will tell him if he is playing the game or not, which at that moment the doctor shows them, and this makes doubts arise. Since they have never seen such Vince, although Ryota knows that these Vince are used a lot to cheat, which at that moment Ryota returns the Vince and tells him that he has already confirmed and has not used any. Also that Ryota begins to talk to him that if he wants to join them to escape from this island, because when the time comes for that helicopter to rescue them they will set a trap and thus be able to escape. The curious thing is that when Ryota tells the doctor that they already have 3 chips, this immediate wants to participate to help them. At that moment Himiko thinks that this doctor was abandoned here because surely someone hates him. Also that they observe a plane, that means that they are going to drop supplies. So they tell Mr. Tyra that they will have to leave because they will go to get food. Although the doctor thinks that the 3 united, that means that he can gather 6 ships. Minutes later, the guys were preparing for when the suitcases fall. The thing is that when they went after one, Ryota felt a radar, and when Ryota used his radar, he realized that there are more than 6 people coming to this same place. Although something that has clear riots is that they cannot go back, since those suitcases must be theirs. And while they are still approaching the briefcase, they keep tracking the other people who are also approaching this place, and indeed out of nowhere, this guy who was also going for that briefcase came out. The thing is that when the 2 of them jump, neither of them could catch the briefcase. The name of this guy is Nobutaka, and while Haruoda was fighting Nobutaka, Himiko was fighting a girl who came out of nowhere that apparently this girl could defeat Himiko. On the other hand, the doctor could reach the briefcase, and the type of glasses threw a binks to the doctor, and with the binks that the doctor implanted to the briefcase, Ryota can reach the briefcase. That causes the guy with glasses to chase him. However, Himiko was not dead, and was more angry than before, since with his taser attacks that girl. But Himiko tells her that she has binks with temporizers, and those of her are much faster, so she has the advantage. On the other hand, Ryota is escaping from the lens guy, but out of nowhere Ryota was thrown some fire wings that were directed at this guy. We find again Akira, who tells the guy that it is not necessary to finish him. But on the other hand, the guy with the glasses snatches the briefcase from Ryota for his chemical side that was going to attack that girl. But she is much faster, and this one takes the taser and has her trapped. And something that is very clear is that she will not give up so easily, so she gets rid of the key of that girl and gives it to the taser, although the girl has much more strength than her. The two escaped because at that moment they threw a beam, and well, basically it was thrown by the doctor that when he sees Himiko he wonders how he is still alive. Himiko does not trust the doctor at all, but still thanks him, since if he tells him that he does not trust him, surely this would eliminate him. Himiko says that the enemies are everywhere and the only person she trusts is Ryota. On the other hand, Ryota talks to the surface, who observes this guy who is heading to the sea, but that guy finds a briefcase. The thing is that this was a trap for the type of glasses. Obviously Kiryuta tells him to stop, and that if he moves he will not contain himself and will make him explode. He also orders him to leave things on the floor and move away. The funny thing is that this guy is very obedient and does things as Ryota asks him to. Obviously this is very strange. He wonders if there will be a trap behind that. He also wonders if he has a remote that can activate the beings from a distance. And that's why he tells him to show his hands, which he does, but he has absolutely nothing. Something that this guy does but has nothing, when Ryota gets close to the briefcase. And besides, all that was a trap because he had the controller in his mouth. Although Ryota is much more astute and he was able to survive, because he considers that he cannot lose in concrete, since he is the best in this game. One of those who is behind this game says that the one who wins this battle literally wins the game, because he will have all the chips. And everyone was surprised when they saw that Ryota did not die. The guy with glasses observes that Ryota is running away, so he decides to throw some binks at him, but as Ryota threw himself into the water, luckily he did nothing to him. And the guy with glasses asks himself who is really him. On the other hand, the doctor stops Himiko and tells him not to go, since a few moments ago several people appeared on the radar, and it can surely be very dangerous because they have to end their lives. Thing that at that moment the guy with glasses tells him the name Ryota, and it is something that he already knew. Ryota wants to go after him and ask him how he knows that. Kira tells him that it was a good fight, and he had never seen a fight like that, even among the best players in the world. Also Kihira was able to pick up his old bag, and tells him that soon his faces will be seen. Ryota says that he no longer has strength, which at that time the boys arrive. Ryota says that he lost the briefcase. To this Himiko gives him a big hug. We return again with the guy with glasses and this girl, where she says she does not understand how he can eat that food all soaked. On the other hand, Ryota wonders how this guy knows him. Although yes, he recognized the voice. And that reminds him when he was in school, because he was a boy who stood out in everything. He always had the best grades. He was good at sports. He was very friendly with everyone. He had many friends and many followers. Anything I did was great. Ryota wanted to be like that guy, but he couldn't beat him, and for some reason he started talking to him, maybe because the two had single mothers. They always spent the time together. It was very fun when I was with him, and Ryota thought they would get along for a while. Although the worst happened because Ryota told him that he liked his classmate named Aiko. Nobutaka told him to confess that in love loses the one who does not confess, but Ryota told him that he was not good at that, or maybe it was not the time to tell him, since he was not as popular as he was with the girls, until one day Nobutaka did the worst, since he betrayed Ryota. Basically he got involved with Aiko, obviously that before this Ryota gave him a hard blow, since the person he considered a friend betrayed him. The next thing he knew was that he was surrounded by many people. The two were suspended, but he left school. He heard that he became an host and created his own club, but that no longer matters. Although he wonders why he did that. And Ryota, as he knew him very well, surely many people wanted to send him to this island, but now he will be his enemy. And later while Ryota is cooking, the doctor considers that he is a fool for letting all the provisions go to waste. And that Ryota also thanks the doctor for finding a briefcase. The doctor says that he just found it, but tomorrow they must look for another one, since the provisions are running out. Himiko still doesn't trust that doctor. Ryota gives Mr. Terra to eat, but he tells him that he is not hungry. And that's when the doctor touches his heartbeats and says that everything is wrong, since the poison of that lizard does not let it be completely cured and needs a more adequate treatment or else he will die. Himiko tells Ryota that she wants to talk to him. She tells him that they should return to that abandoned building, since the woman who was there previously told him that there was a supply of medicines, and Himiko is sure that they can find medicines there. That building was used to hide in case of a lizard bite. So there must be some serum there. And they also have someone who is a doctor, which Himiko asks if he is going to take him there. The doctor who thinks he is spending the food on someone who is going to die. And Ryota tells the doctor that there is a place where they can find a lot of medicines, so that's why they decide to let Mr. Terra in again to go to that building. Ryota tells Himiko that why don't you trust him? She replies that there is something strange in him, but Ryota says that he seems like a good person. It's hard to imagine that they sent him here. Himiko says that she's just pretending, because she remembers when that doctor tried to eliminate her with the other girl, but then he only acted as if he had tried to save her. That's why Himiko can't trust him. And since Ryota told him that if you have to survive, you have to trust other people, because if you don't trust them, they won't trust you either. But even so, Himiko doesn't trust him. When they finally get to the building, they don't want to say where the woman is exactly, mostly so that the doctor doesn't know her real location. The doctor thinks they brought him here, probably to fight, because here nothing works with the drugs, they're all defeated. But in the end, he doesn't care, because he's just going to throw some bottles. And that will be enough. But the doctor tells Ryota that he heard the conversation he had with her. And if he doesn't trust him, just to make it clear, he won't be able to survive here if there is no mutual trust. When the doctor tells Ryota that there are very important materials in that suitcase, Ryota can now feel his intimidating presence. At that moment, when Ryota calls Himiko, she runs to him and tells him to get out of that briefcase because in that briefcase there are some binks thing that at that moment everything exploded and the doctor tells him that his boyfriend is dead. He has many binks in his power so he can't do anything to him, but he finds something very curious. How did he discover that there were binks in the briefcase? The thing is that at that moment the woman leaves this building and tells him that apparently he has not changed at all and attacks him. I tell you that 10 minutes ago, Himiko tells the woman that one of his companions was bitten by a giant lizard. And apparently he is poisoned. So that's why he came here to look for medicine. That the woman tells him that the only thing there is are antibiotics and antibiotics. When the woman is going to tell him where the antibiotics and antibiotics are, she looks at the doctor and says that he is the doctor who betrayed her. And he wonders why he is again on this island. The woman tells him that he probably planted a binges against the remote in that briefcase, since this is already done before, and that's why he ran so fast to tell him what was happening. We go back to when the woman tells him to get up because they have to escape, but the doctor tells him that it does not matter where they go, he already planted binges in the whole building. The doctor tells the woman that he did not think that he would still be alive, and even fixed them with the arm that was missing. And that the woman tells him that he probably made someone angry again. That's why he ends up here again. And the doctor tells him that they can't do anything because the whole building is full of his wings. Although when the doctor lowers the guard, the woman throws some wings at him and heads to him. The thing is that the doctor made the woman believe that he was going to escape so that she would follow him and fall into his trap. This caused the doctor to activate his wings. The doctor says that now only that girl remains who does not know how to defend herself. Himiko wanted to run away but remembers that the whole building is surrounded by the doctor's wings. That makes Himiko decide to fight, but she gets thoughts in Himiko's head where she thinks she's going to die. After fighting so hard not to die, she thinks that everything is over, and also that he has no Argota. He is completely alone and does not know what to do. It is now that he regrets and says that he would have said that she is the true Alchemic. The doctor tells him that if he comes with him, they will not do anything to him and they can leave the island together. But as Alchemic tells him that this is how he also deceived that woman, the doctor instantly throws a vince at him. And Alchemic was getting ready to die. The thing is that the vince did not explode. The doctor wonders why it does not explode. Does not the switch work? But in reality, when the doctor looks at his radar, he sees that someone is approaching. And that someone is Ryota, who is still alive. The doctor cannot understand how he is still alive. And it was because basically Ryota threw the briefcase in time and could throw himself in a ravine where the explosion did not reach him. Ryota tells the doctor that while he is still alive, the only binks you can use are of the control type, and as I have planted many of them here, that means that the doctor is disarmed and Ryota still has a cracker. Ryota tells the doctor to simply surrender and admit his defeat, or he will have to kill him right here. That makes the doctor run and run. But again, this is a trap to do as he did to the woman, and when the doctor was going to activate the binks that was apparently under Ryota, he tells him that when he goes to here, he saw the binks and he moved them from place to place. At that moment, Himiko arrives and asks Ryota what they will do with the doctor. He says that they will have to eliminate him because he keeps trying to eliminate him until the end. At that moment, The woman arrives and tells the boys that it is not necessary to stain their hands, since this was always between them, which at that moment the doctor asked the woman for help, but she no longer fell into his games. The doctor apologizes to the woman, but she cannot eliminate him, and the doctor asks him if he plans to forgive him, but she says she can't forgive him ever. And later Himiko tells Ryota not to look at her while she's showering. Ryota says he doesn't understand the woman, since he was supposed to do something terrible to her in the last game. However, she saved his life. He doesn't understand how adults think. Ryota tells him that he wants to pick up some chips he saw on the way. Basically, he refers to all the bodies he found along the way and never took the chip from them, the ones he wants to make, so that another person does not go ahead and pick up those chips. And so when he can collect all those chips, finally be able to call the helicopter and have an ambush, and so be able to escape, all this idea seems very cool to Himiko, but that again Himiko slaps Ryota for being a pervert, and later Ryota and Himiko are walking in the middle of a lot of darkness. Ryota says that the lizards will wake up very soon. But on the other hand, Ryota is being observed, and it feels like someone is watching him. And this sound is from a tracking Binks. This Binks is basically following Ryota. The point is that if the Binks manages to touch Ryota, this Binks will explode, but don't worry, because Ryota was able to destroy that Binks. And he says that the only person who has this kind of tracking beam is Mr. Tyra, so he tells him that if he is doing this, he should stop since they are supposed to be allies. One of the beams exploded and hurt the leg of Ryota. Himiko tears Mr. Tyra to stop. Why is he doing this? And reminds her of the words of the woman who told him that when he gathers the 6 chips they will test each other. He wonders if Mr. Tyra will betray them to gather all the chips. At that moment Ryota activates his radar, but he does not see anyone. He wonders where he is. He wonders why he is betraying them, since he is supposed to remember that they were going to leave here together. Ryota says it's his fault, that he does not care about the reasons. He was the one who made him feel anxious. He was very terrified. And now when he wonders if he did the same thing that his father did, since the father was obsessed with work and never spent time with him. The mother divorced and remarried without warning him. From there I think that adults are selfish, they only think of themselves. But Ryota says that he made the same mistake with Mr. Terra, even though he hated that, and wonders if Mr. Terra was pretending, which at that moment, another Wings is approaching. Next, other Wings. Ryota tells Himiko to escape. She thinks that if this game has the same rules as the game's beta, then she can do it. It is for that Himiko captures the Winx and manages to deactivate it, since she was practically not the target. It is now that Ryota confirms that she is the real Himiko. Himiko activates her radar and observes that Mr. Terra does not move, but is sure that he is hiding somewhere. Himiko tells Ryota that the beings, like the Rastradors, only affect one person. In that moment, Mr. Terra says that hopefully they don't hate him for this. But in the end, this is a game. And when he throws the beings, Himiko is ready to deactivate it. But Ryota thinks that this beings is weird, since it is noticeable that it is not directed at him. That makes Ryota throw himself and manages to deactivate the beings. In that moment, Ryota activates the radar, and now he can find Mr. Terra, but as Mr. Terra was very afraid that he would be eliminated, he ran away. Ryota shouts at him not to run, to come back here. The crazy thing is that Mr. Tyra still had a Vince left. But that in that Ryota tells him that he wants to apologize to him, that he wants them to fly home together. Mr. Tyra is in trouble, since he is surrounded by many lizards and considers that surely this is karma, it is his punishment for what he tries to do. He apologizes to the boys, because he just wanted to go home. And basically Mr. Tyra, he commits suicide. Obviously, Ryota is very sad. He wonders why this happened, and that the purpose was to return together. At night, the two were very sad. And Himiko asks Ryota if he thought that Mr. Tyra wanted to betray them just like the doctor did. But Ryota tells him that Mr. Tyra was not like that, he was just a normal person. That's why he got scared and hesitated, because nobody wants to die, obviously. Everyone wants to go home. So when he was hurt, he was in despair and his heart weakened. Ryota feels guilty about his death. Himiko asks him if he wants to go home. Ryota obviously says yes, that he wants to get out of this hell. Himiko wants to give him all the chips so he can go. He even tells him to eliminate her so she can keep her chip. Himiko says that it's the best, and that she has no way back. Because when she had nowhere to go, he made her change. And even if they were not connected in the real world, their hearts were. Even if the world was virtual, he saved her. And when he came to this island, he was almost going to die on several occasions. Even when he gave up, but now he understands. He is his hope to survive. He says that as long as he survives, no matter what happens. Ryota tells her not to say that she could never be able to leave without her. Since he is not that kind of person, he does not plan to leave her ever. He does not plan to leave her. He would never do it like in this world. He would never do it in this world or in the virtual world. And that's when Ryota asks her if she is the chemist of the game. This makes her confirm, and finally they can kiss. And when they wanted to make the fantastic fruity, Ruta remembers that she is still scared, and she does nothing, because she wants to show her old ex-friend that she is not like him. This makes him disappear from his life, and tells Himiko that this is not the place to do it, and that they should leave this island, and after that, start to go out officially. So Himiko gives him a big hug of happiness.